Okay, welcome back. Now we're getting ready to get started with core purpose. This will be chapter 1. We've divided it into multiple sessions. You can go through these classes at your leisure. You can go through them every day, just whatever you can imagine to go through, if you can manage it with your time. But one thing that I do want to really encourage you to do is to make sure that you're taking time to reflect with this, because core purpose is designed for you. And so I don't want you to be distracted by the dogs and the phones and anything like that, or the kids. Just make sure that you have some time set aside to where you can actually go through this and spend some time with yourself. It's really important, especially in today's world where everybody's so busy and we're always distracted with so many different things. We have way too much information going on at the same time. It's important for you to go ahead and spend some time to reflect and really process, really think through some of these things that we're going to talk about. Even if you think that they might be a little on the simplified version, it's important for you to go through this and really reflect with this. So let's take a look at some of the things that we're going to talk about. The first thing I want to actually really get across to you is I'm going to ask you this question. What do you think the most important thing is? Now, just in your head, reflect on that. What is the most important thing to you? Some of you might say family, faith. It could be the environment, it could be your children, it could be anything like that. So think about it. What is the most important thing? Well, I bet that I have a different answer. The most important thing is actually what I learn. When we are in a situation where we're learning things that are not correct, what's going to happen is we're going to play out the rest of our life based upon that information that we've learned that we thought was right. And it ends up creating conflict. It ends up creating some problems. And so I want you to think about what you're learning as you're going through core purpose, because I can guarantee you most of the things that we're going to talk about will challenge you. And even though you might have learned some things from people that you really loved and admired, you may realize that what they taught you wasn't exactly the right thing. Here's an example. Okay, prejudice. Most people will say, I'm not prejudiced. Well, I bet you are. And we're going to talk about that later on in core purpose. Prejudice actually alters your brain chemistry. And if you have a prejudice against anything, whether it's an ethnic group, whether it's against people of different economic statuses, whether it's somebody that maybe you have an attitude about people who are not educated, or maybe you have an attitude against people who are educated. Maybe you have a problem against another political group. There, I said it, okay? And you think that you don't have a prejudice, but I bet we can uncover some. And it might be that you think that it's okay to have this prejudice because maybe a lot of people in your circle have the same prejudice. So having a lot of people in the same circle must make it okay. We want to look at how these ideas, these beliefs impact our brain and will ultimately impact our purpose, because that's the central thing of what we're taking this course for. We want to learn something new so that we can do something different and actually enjoy a high quality of life. So, what's the most important thing? What I learn. So it's very important as you're going through this program to understand what you're learning is about being invested into. So everything that we talk about, it's with the expressed goal of investing into you. And so you're going to notice that, and it's going to feel different to you, because you're going to say, I feel different. I'm actually liking this. It's kind of painful. It's kind of in my face, but at the same time, I'm liking it. I feel better. And so we're taking this approach called the investment model, and we're going to talk about this in real detail in the next chapter. And so, but for this chapter, we're going to start laying down some basic ideas, some basic concepts. We're going to talk about a few basic items in the second chapter, but then we're going to really start developing ideas and things that you can do. And we're going to be very open and honest about things that are going to try to prevent you from living your purpose. And we don't want that to happen, because again, remember, we want you to be in the 1% club, okay? All right, And so we're going to go through these things, and I hope that you're going to enjoy it as much as I am. I will say that I'm going to put on a PowerPoint every page that you're going through so that you're looking at. I don't want you to just hear me talk a lot and then you're lost at what page you're supposed to complete and what are you really looking to really communicate, as well as really what you're supposed to gain through each page. Okay, so we're going to play around a little bit with the PowerPoint situation so that we can get each of those pages up. All right, so here we go. Let's see what we can do. We're going to get started. Here we go. All right. So in your book, you have Understanding Purpose, Where is My Life Going? Now, we've already talked about this in the introduction about what purpose really is. And purpose is like a grain of, or like a seed. And when you plant it, it's supposed to grow and it will produce something that's not just for you, but it's for somebody else as well. And so keeping in mind, everyone was born with a purpose. You have all the gifts and talents you need. And you can't be disqualified from it, which is a really big idea, by the way. And you're going to use that purpose for something bigger than you, okay? All right, so let's move to the next slide. Okay, so what we've seen then is that it's important that what we're learning is going to either promote our purpose or it's going to take us away from it. So what I want you to do is spend some time finishing up your session here, do your pages, spend some time reflecting, and then we will catch with you on the next session and see what we can come up with, because we're going to start continuing to learn. Okay, and so when you're finished with these pages, and you can do that again after you just click off on this video, then what you'll want to do is take a look at what you've learned and to see if it's served you well. We want to make sure that you've learned something and it's promoting your purpose, not taking away from your purpose. If you haven't advanced in life, but the only thing that you've gained from it is more enemies, more people that you cut out of your life, more people that you have nothing to do with, or if you have a consistent, they did me wrong, I was victimized, I was hurt. Those are the things that you want to highlight and put a question mark by, because it's possible as we go through this program that you might have to rethink these things and you're going to learn something different that's going to actually invest in your life and the quality of your life and in the well-being of your life. Okay, so we're going to wrap up this session, and when you're finished with those pages, you can go ahead and start the next session and we'll continue to go forward from there.